Hello people, Mother Main Homesteader here. Today is Friday, May 8th, 2020, and as you can see, this video is a little bit different. I'm actually interacting with you today. I'm not showing you my yard, I'm not showing you the greenhouse, I'm not showing you weeds, I'm not showing you the porch, the projects, or anything like that. I'm not showing you the outdoors today. This one-on-one video is going to be more about stockpiling, what you should be stockpiling in your house, preparing for, and some other ways that you can guarantee yourself some food if you're not the type of family that wants weapons, or if you want to know a way that you could stay quiet in the woods without giving off your location while you're searching for food as well. And for those of you that are watching this video that already have experience in all this stuff, you already know what I'm probably talking about. And if you got experience, you probably have more experience than me in that field, because this is something that's totally new to us. The stockpiling of the goods and the food is something that we've been doing for years. And we buy, and believe it or not, I mean, we don't even spend a lot of money. Half the things that we buy are not expensive at all. There's only a couple things that are, can be pricey. That's because they're highly sought after. But the rest of the stuff is packed with nutrition. It'll keep you satisfied even if you can only eat a little bit to feed the family. And it's cheap to buy. Alright, so before I get into that, I just want to update you guys on what Maine was like today. Today, I always mention the weather in my videos. Today, it was beautiful outside. It was 56 degrees. The sky was bright blue. The sun was shining. There was only a little bit of clouds. And there was a nice little breeze outside that would cool off the back of your neck when you're doing something hard. When you're working out in the yard today and you want to get cooled off a bit. Today, I actually tackled the task and was able to benefit from that cool breeze, because the task I tackled today, I've been procrastinating on doing it, only because I know that there's certain areas inside this area that was still frozen, and it was going to be a son of a bitch to get it all freed out. So the task I'm talking about is, yep, you guessed it, cleaning out that chicken coop. How many times have I told you guys I needed to clean the chicken coop out? I've been waiting a week to do it. I finally have to get down and do it because, number one, we're getting 2 to 6 inches of snow dumped on us over the weekend. It's actually supposed to start tonight. So that's a bummer. That's gonna, I needed to get it done before that happens. And number two, once the snow falls, that means there's going to be more moisture when the sun comes out and melts everything. And what does that mean? That means more bugs are going to be festering in those freaking soupy areas that's around the house, because we have a brook back there, so obviously it's going to be moist around here. And, the mosquitoes and the gnats and things that bite and whatever are just going to be festering in all that water, because that's where they thrive. They thrive in wet areas. So I wanted to get that done before those bugs start coming out and start eating me alive. So that's another reason why I want to get that done. So I did get the chicken coop done today. Man, I thought I was going to have a heart attack doing that, man. Oh my God, I thought I was going to drop dead. A couple of times I had to come out of that coop and take off the rag from my face and just take some deep breaths, man. I thought I was going to pass out. The reason why I thought I was going to pass out, it's not cleaning the coop, it's chiseling away at that freaking frozen manure, that's in the coop. We don't have a linoleum floor inside the coop, it's just wood, and as you know, wood is porous, so when moisture dries into the wood or sticks to the wood frozen, it's a son of a bitch to get it up, man. And I struggled today. I struggled out there chiseling away at that freaking manure, but I finally did. I finally got it all out of there, and I tell you what, man, for 4 hens, those hens crap a lot. They just stay on one side of the coop, those 4 hens, and I'm telling you what, man, I'm not even going to talk about shit because it won't be right to talk about shit. But there was a pile of shit in there. That shit was freaking, it was piled, it was stacked. So anyways, I also, not only did I clean the coop, I also dusted everything down. I decobwebbed the whole thing because there was cobwebs in there galore. And, you know how chickens like to take those dirt baths? They like to, bathe in dust and dirt and sand and stuff like that. So when they go into their coops, they shake their feathers off. And of course, the debris is going to go stick into the walls and the roof and, whatever else, the windows and stuff like that. Any place that it can stick to, it will. So I also dusted it out. I took the cobwebs off from the ceiling and everything. And I changed out the nesting boxes. I changed the hay in the nesting boxes and also collected some eggs. Along with that, I also cleaned out the chick brooder area. Remember that barrel that's inside the chicken coop with the light? I also cleaned them out. I placed them in a separate box. I used one of my dog my old dog kennel carriers that I had left over from when I picked them up at the airport, and I just never threw away the kennel, because why, when you can always find a use for everything, right? So I did. I found a use for it today. Put all the chicks in there while I cleaned out their bedding. I switched out the wood chips to hay. I find that hay is a lot cleaner than wood chips. That's just my belief and my experience. I just have an experience with wood chips and hay. I love hay. It lets air flow through the ground, and not only that, it lets the chicks, when they're actually pecking around and they're learning how to scratch and peck, it lets them find the food instead of pecking at poo, and they can get sick with that. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to go peck at poo. So anyways, I just switched out the wood chips, the wood shavings, and I put in hay. They got their feeders all filled up, and their water is all filled up, and they're living the dream in there, man. They're happy. They're almost ready to come out of the brooder, because all their little baby feathers are almost all gone. They're getting their real feathers in. And I wanted to just give you a little tour of inside the chicken coop, since, we did build the chicken coop. We didn't buy it already made. It wasn't a prefab building or anything like that. We actually built it, and my husband put the roosting bars in there, and the hen boxes and all that jazz. So I'm going to give you a tour of the chicken coop tomorrow, and I'm also going to show you our compost bin that's ready to be used in the outdoor garden. Okay. Having said that, let's get started with what this video is really about. And it's really about what you should be stockpiling in your house to prepare your family for the upcoming total economic collapse of the United States. I believe it's coming real close. It's actually right at our door. It's knocking at our door. And all it's waiting for now is just for us to open up the door and let it in. Okay, so like I said, the stuff that I bought, that we've been buying over the years, has been pretty consistent, but one of the major things I always tell folks that they should stockpile on is their grains. Rice is a big thing to stockpile, and you probably can't even find rice anymore in the stores. And if you can find it, you probably got a family limit on what you can buy. We actually just put another order into BJ's online and ordered 2 packs of a box of 6 macaroni and cheeses. We ordered 2 more bags of rice. Unfortunately, it's not the 25-pound bags. It's only the 5-pound bags. And we also ordered some more peanut butter. Okay, so these are the bags of rice that I'm talking about. We have a mixture of these 25-pound bags of rice. Okay, these 25-pound bags. And this is jasmine rice. We choose jasmine rice. I mean, you can find a 50-pound bag of regular long grain rice. If you can find that, go for it. Our preference is jasmine rice. And whatever you're going to stockpile, the reason why I say we're stockpiling jasmine rice, because you're supposed to stockpile food that you actually eat, okay? You don't want to stockpile anything that you're not already consuming, because you're not going to be able to recycle that food, you know what I mean? Because why would you sit there and eat something, or why would you even consider eating something that you normally don't eat on a daily? So the things that we stockpile on and things that we already consume as a family, and at least we can rotate the supply that we buy, right? So all the stuff we'll use first, and then just keep replenishing our goods as we go. So other than the rice, that's the first rice that we have 25-pound bags. And we also have the 5-pound bags of rice as well, because, if you're able to find this rice, any rice, if you're able to find rice in the grocery store, grab it. Grab a couple bags. I'm not saying grab the whole shelf of rice, because you want to leave some food left over for other people that are looking to stockpile, for their homes as well. You don't want to be inconsiderate hoarder, let's just say. I don't think you're a hoarder if you've been stockpiling food through the years, but if you're just going to go rush to the store and you've never stockpiled food before, and you're just going to hoard all that food for yourself and be selfish and not think about, other families out there that really do need to stockpile food because they have nothing, or, just be considerate, you know what I mean? If there's like 10 bags over there, don't try and grab like 8 of them and leave 2. Just fucking grab like 3 bags, grab three bags of rice. I think that's cool. 3 bags of rice, and then you go back, next week when they have more, and get 3 more bags. You don't take everything all at once. You just go once, grab some stuff, come back next week, grab some more stuff. You do it, slowly, periodically. You just do it, casually, like normal. You're being normal about it. You're not being an asshole. right? So other than the rice, we're coffee drinkers, so we have been stockpiling on coffee. Our preference is Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks brand. We've been buying the big Dunkin' Donuts jugs like this. This is 30 ounces of coffee, and we buy it already ground. We already do have a coffee grinder in this. We could buy whole bean if we wanted, but right now we're just buying already ground coffee. Okay, so apart from the coffee, we are also stockpiling with olive oil. Now, we were pretty fortunate. The local Martin's here, I spoke about Martin's before. It's like a discount warehouse store where they buy out. It's Martin's buys out warehouses that are liquidating their product, their supply, and what Martin's does goes in there and gives them an offer and buys everything, right? So we found we've stockpiled some of these. These were $5 a piece, and it's 51 ounces of olive oil. Yeah, I mean, it's not, Philip Bertoli or whatever like that, but it's still good olive oil, and olive oil is very healthy for the heart, and it's better than using, the vegetable oil, canola oil, things like that. I mean, I still have big jugs of the vegetable oil and canola oil in the house too, because you should still have those types of oils stockpiled as well. Not too much, but enough to that where you could make like dense foods like biscuits or something like that. That you can fry right over a cast iron pot over a fire or something like that. Another thing that I would suggest that you go out and purchase and stop stockpiling on is peanut butter. Okay, we use the all-natural peanut butter, the kind that's just peanuts. There's no sugar, there's nothing else in there, just peanuts. That's that oil that you see at the top that rises to the top. The only thing that sucks about natural peanut butter is that you do have to stir in all that oil, and right at the bottom over here, that peanut butter is like stuck stiff right at the bottom because all the oil, goes to the top. So start stockpiling on peanut butter if you haven't already. This is an item that you should go to the store and buy on a regular basis. Like whenever you go to the store, whenever you need to go to the store, hopefully you're going to the store protected, mind you. Whenever you go to the store, be sure to pick up a jar of peanut butter or 2 jars of peanut butter. Not 16 or 10 or anything like that. Just a couple jars of peanut butter every time you go to the store. Every time you go to the store, get something to stockpile. Put it that way, okay? Besides the peanut butter, get things like chili. Already made meals in a can that have meat and fiber in there is excellent. This is chicken chili, and it's made with ground chicken, okay? And it comes with the beans, the chili beans, just kidney beans. And what I like about stockpiling chili and like beef stews and stuff like that, you're getting a high calorie count, number one. And number two, there's a lot of fat in it, so it'll keep you satisfied for longer. And number three, you get some nutrition, out of the fucking beans and the protein from the beef. So apart from your chili or your beef stews or anything like that, you also want to buy regular canned meat. There's a couple of canned meats that we buy. I didn't bring the other can in here of what we buy, but one of those things is canned chicken. Okay, you see that? Canned chicken breast. Guess how much this was? Again, this was at Martin's. Okay, this is 12.5 ounces, and there is 3.5 servings of chicken in here. Okay, so if you are a family of 4, if you was to give yourself less, you could feed 4 people in your family. Or, you could fucking have some left over, whatever, right? So this would feed a family of 3 comfortably, 4 absolutely as well. I mean, somebody's going to have to go a little bit, less, like, but that's all right. If you got enough meat on your bones, then there's no worry about that. Anyways, canned chicken is something that you should be stockpiling on as well. I actually got a bunch of these at Martin's. They were just selling these. I mean, like nobody wanted these, so they dropped the price to $1.79 a piece. I mean, these things, I just bought another row of canned chicken over at the Hannaford's over here because our Martin's is closed. I mean, it just recently opened back up because the economy is coming back, coming back into action, trying to get it pumped up again because, it's totally freaking collapsed without people going to work and stuff. so I had to buy, like I said, whenever I go to the store, I try and buy something to stockpile to add to our stockpile. So I bought the canned chicken there in the same exact size, and each can was at $3.49. You freaking believe that, man? That was crazy. I was like, holy shit! I paid $8 for 4 cans, and I paid $1.79. Look at that. You don't believe me? Right there, $1.79 for this can that feeds 3.5 people. Okay, apart from this canned meat, we also do another canned meat, and there's 2 varieties that we buy of this canned meat. Highly, highly nutritious. Okay, so the first canned meat we buy the second canned meat we buy is sardines. Check that out, folks. Sardines. If you are a fish lover and you don't mind fish and you love sardines, or you just love any type of fish, go out there and get some sardines. If you're gonna buy, you can't buy these sardines in the grocery store. No freaking way. 1 can of these sardines is $3.49 of this name brand in the grocery store. This is in 100% olive oil. Whatever kind of sardine you get, whatever kind of canned fish you get, always get fish in olive oil if you can. Not vegetable oil, not canola oil, olive oil. Olive oil is not only healthy for you with their omegas, but it also keeps you satisfied. Just eating a little bit. This 1 can has 200 calories, and 1 can is saying that 1 serving is just this 1 can. But you can easily split this in half and this could feed 2 people, without a doubt, no problem, and keep you satisfied for about 8 hours. You know what I mean? 8 to 10 hours, even for the whole day if you really had to. If you really, really had to, this 1 can could feed 2 people. Okay, and you get not only the benefits of the olive oil, you're getting 1,700 omega-3 fatty acids just in this 1 freaking can. All right, so that's like a super, super plus. The other type of sardine that we buy is a company called Brunswick. It comes in a green package as well, and that's also made with 100% olive oil. Another thing that we are newly stockpiling on, is pumpkin seeds. And by the way, folks, before I get to the pumpkin seeds, right, I just want to let you know that this is the size that we purchase, and this is from BJ's. You can get this BJ's online, or you can go to the store. And this whole package right here, it comes in, I think there's 10 packs of these sardines, and it's only $10.99. Okay, that's like a little bit over $1 a pack. When if you was to buy these in like Hannaford or a grocery store, they're gonna be like anywhere between $2.89 to $3.49, and you can get 10 of them for $10.99. What a freaking steal, man. Okay, so anyways, yeah, that's a 10 pack. We got, I don't know, I want to say like 1,000 cans of sardines. I think. I mean, 1,000 cans. No word of a lie. No shitting you. Okay, so I know. Again, anyway, another thing that we've been newly stocking up on is pumpkin seeds. Okay. These are pumpkin raw kernel seeds, alright, and these are packed with nutrition as well. There's not only fiber in here, but these are loaded with magnesium. Pumpkin seeds are excellent sources of magnesium and potassium, and say if we run out of our magnesium pills, at least we can turn to the pumpkin seeds to get our nutrition that way. And when you're deficient in magnesium, believe it or not, man, you won't even know you're deficient in magnesium. There are so many symptoms out there that are so common that so many people probably are walking around with today and don't even know how to freaking solve the problem because they are deficient in magnesium. It's such an important supplement that your body needs that it does not get naturally through foods, and you'd have to have so much food just to get your magnesium, the amount of magnesium that your body needs. Okay, anyways. Apart from the pumpkin seeds, another canned meat that we also stockpile up on, or try to stockpile up on, is pretty pricey, is oysters. Okay, oysters are a great source of zinc, and your body holds. That's another element that mineral that your body needs is zinc. Zinc is very important to your body, and if we were ever able not to take our zinc pills that we have stockpiled, we could turn to our oysters. A serving of oysters will give you a full day's serving, even more. I think it's 4 times the amount that you need of zinc is in 1 can of oysters, or a serving of oysters. And I just get the chicken of the sea or our Star Kiss. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it's one of those. They're boiled oysters, and they're actually pretty good. I mean, I love seafood anyway. You throw any kind of seafood at my face, and I'm gonna eat it. I mean, I'm just a seafood girl, you know, and that's what I just love seafood. I mean, seafood's like number one to me. Crabs, everything, just you name it, I'll eat it. Okay, another thing too that we stockpile, and we have a pretty good amount of these as well, is dry beans. These are so inexpensive to buy. I mean, this one bag of dry beans, okay, this will give you, you can make 2 pots of baked beans with these dry beans. Yeah, you have to let them soak overnight, but who cares, man? You do all that stuff in a crock pot. You could do it in an electric crock pot. You can learn how to do it in a cast iron crock pot. Whatever, man. You can make baked beans. You get 2 servings of baked beans, like dinners. You get 2 dinners out of this one bag, and it's only 88 cents. I also got the other bag of dried beans in the house that has a seasoning packets mixed in with them. And that's pretty cool too, because you can just, the whole bag you throw in a pot, and with a seasoning packet you cook it, and it's going to feed a whole bunch of people. And it's loaded with fiber and protein and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that we've been stockpiling here on the homestead. You know, we got our peanut butter, our olive oils, our sardines, our canned meats. We also got frozen meats as well. Like, you want to, while you are able to get your hand on like meat, whenever you go to the store, pick up some meat as well to add to the stockpile. You might want to pick yourself up a little freezer so you can start stocking up that freezer with meat. Don't keep the boxes to the meat. Like, I don't bother buying fresh meat anymore unless I know this the meat that I'm going to use during the month. I just go ahead and buy hamburger patties. That's all I buy. You can store hamburger patties real easy. They're already made for you. They're already individually wrapped per person, whatever. And you can just chuck the bag and throw the box and throw the bags right in the freezer, save space, right? So every time I go to the grocery store, if I know I want to have a burger for that day, I will go buy the burgers and leave the ones, in the freezer. You like rotate, you use your old ones and you keep the new ones in. That's what you're supposed to do. So anyways, that's what we're stockpiling in our meats. We also stockpile the oysters and sardines and salt and pepper. Don't forget to stockpile with salt and pepper. It's getting pretty hard to find salt and pepper nowadays, so believe it or not, it really is, because it's such a sought after, a tasting element. Everybody wants to put salt and pepper on their food, right? Or else they can't eat their food. So anyways, salt and pepper is another big one. Flour. You need to stockpile flour. If you can get your hands on bread flour, wheat flour, all-purpose flour, any kind of flour, corn flour, anything. If you can get your hands on flour, grab it. Not only the flour, get yeast. Stockpile on your yeast as well. The fast, rapid yeast, the regular, active yeast, whatever you can get your yeast. Baking soda, baking powder. Get all this stuff. Start stockpiling on these types of things so you can make baked goods. I mean, you can make a simple bread loaf that would feed a family for days if you stockpile on your flour. I don't even think you can find flour anymore inside the big box stores like BJ's or Sam's Club or Costco or anything like that. I know my local Hannaford's, and we're all the way out here in northern Maine, doesn't even have flour on their shelves. The only flour that they have on their shelf is almond flour, and that's not really a flour that you can work with well. You can do a lot of bake things with it, but it's not a flour that you can make some real good hearty breads or doughs or anything with. Another thing that we're also stockpiling is canned tomatoes, diced tomatoes, whole tomatoes, just canned tomatoes, tomato sauce, things like that where you can make stews and soups, Also, we're going to be investing in a dehydrator so we can dehydrate meats and vegetables and fruits and things like that, because we did stockpile a little bit of fruit, but fruit is really, really expensive to buy in the cans, especially the ones that are not with the the light syrup or the heavy syrup. They're really expensive, so we don't even bother stockpiling any fruit. We got fruit on the property. We got our plums, we got our apples, we got our pears, we got our blueberries, our raspberries, and I'm going to be picking up the blackberry bush hopefully Monday or Tuesday. I'll do a video while I'm doing that as well, and that's what we stockpile for that. Along with that, we're stockpiling tools. Make sure you got your hammers, you got power drills, you got enough screwdrivers, and assortment of saws, and you might even want to invest in get one of those double-sided saws that you can cut down trees with. We have one. These are things that we bought years and years ago that's still in storage and it's still waiting ready to go. You might want to stockpile and get yourselves a couple kerosene heaters while you can. If you can find kerosene heaters, get them. Fill up a few gallons of diesel fuel, K1 fuel, not diesel, K1 fuel from the gas station. Some places, I don't know if you guys can get K1 fuel out of your gas stations, but we can up here because people use the K1 in their oil tanks that are outside, and they offer that at the gas stations. Fill up a couple jugs if you're able to. Get a couple jugs filled up of your 5-gallon gas cans with some K1 fuel, and you can use your heaters sparingly just to heat up a little room, or just to put enough heat in the house so the pipes don't burst, so you can find another way of heat. If you haven't already and you're able to, get a wood stove, preferably a wood stove that you can actually cook on or heat up water on, or make a loaf. They do sell wood stoves where it generates enough heat. It's like a little vent grate that goes on top. We have one, and I can't even give you a video on that because the wood stove that we have, it's actually in our storage shed, and it's faced totally around, and we did that purposely so the glass wouldn't break from getting hit or anything like that. But they do have grates that you can put on top of your wood stove that a wood stove generates heat, and the heat will actually rise through the vent and heat, like a cast iron pan. We even got a cast iron tea kettle that we can also heat water in on a wood stove as well. So if you haven't already, stock up on a wood stove, or just get a wood stove. You just get a small one, you know what I mean? Just get a small one so you can just heat a room if you ever lost electric or you couldn't heat your family. And along with the wood stove, get yourself a cord of wood dropped off. Use it sparingly. Chop up the wood. Get the wood, the cord dropped off. Make the pieces smaller from the bigger pieces that can be chopped in half. Whatever, man. You got to just do little things, you know what I mean? Little things are going to be so important. You're going to wish you did these things. Get tons of duct tape. Get nice tarps, get things that you're going to need. String, needle, threads, a suture kit, all this stuff. You should have all this stuff on hand because this is stuff that your family is going to need. In order to survive. There's not going to be doctors to come to your aid, or you're not going to be able to go to a hospital to stitch a wound if you was to get hurt while working, outdoors or something, trying to freaking live on the homestead or whatever. Get yourself a reliable chainsaw, maybe get two, get things that you're going to need. Get chaps for your chainsaw because you don't want to cut your leg off when you're out there cutting down a tree to heat your wood stove or to build something or whatever, man. These are things that you're going to need. Even get an instrument. Get a guitar, get a flute, get a clarinet, get a trumpet, get something, get a violin, get something that you're going to be able to entertain your family with, learn a trade, a skill, these things that when the economy does come back, it's going to take many, many years, but when it does come back, there's gonna be a need for people that have a trade, a skill. Like there were blacksmiths and there was weavers and there was people that fix shoes and things like that. That's all gonna come back. It's all gonna come back. Horse and buggy is gonna come back. Those dirt roads are gonna come back because there's not gonna be any companies or the Department of Transportation out there working on those roads to fix those cracks in the roads and the potholes and stuff. It's all going to be turned to dirt, and you're all going to be driving wagons and horses, and if you don't got one of those, then you're using your Nikes or your boots or your something like that to transport for your transportation, okay? So that's what's going to be, it's going to get back to that point, and I feel bad saying it because it's not something that I look forward to. I'm just trying to mentally prepare for it in my mind. And those of you that don't believe that this is going to happen, I feel sorry for you because you're going to be so lost when it does happen. You're not going to know what to do. You probably, I wouldn't even doubt that you would die from being clueless. Put it that way. Majority of people of America right now, people that live in America, majority of them doesn't even have a tarp to make shelter. If they was to get kicked out of their house or if they lost their homes or whatever, man, you wouldn't even, a majority of people do not have the means to go out there and survive or be able to live on their own with what they have on their back. They wouldn't even know how to start a fire. That's another thing you should get too. A couple of good friggin' skinning knives, a fire starter kit, things like that. Good duffel bag, a good bag that you can backpack in, you know what I mean? Like a good survival bag, packed with stuff, a metal folding shovel, things like that. Nice sturdy axe. You should have these things on hand. Look into getting it if you haven't already. I'm not saying stop your life, but just you got to start living life like the life that you're living right now that you're trying to live normally is not the life that you should really be focused on. You should be focused on the life that's yet to come, and that life is the life that you're going to be living when all the shit hits the fan. Okay, so let's say you're a family that doesn't let's say you stockpiled all your food. Okay, you ran out of food. You don't know what to do. You're fortunate enough to live out in the woods somewhere, or you're not fortunate enough and you don't know how to, catch an animal. You're thinking about catching an animal, but you know how to do it. You don't know what to do. You can't have a gun because you're in the city, you know what I mean? You can't go out there and hunt for a deer or, because there's parts, I lived in Rhode Island and there was parts where I lived that I still seen deer. I mean, there's deer everywhere. No matter where you live, even in the city, there's still going to be deer. Deer live everywhere. And if you know where to look and you know how to hunt them out, or you know what I mean, you'll know how to find it. If you don't know how to do that, I'm sure you can find a squirrel or something like that. You know what I mean? Believe me, the human being, they're built to find a way to survive, and that's what we'll do. So, anyways, let's just say you're not fortunate enough to have a weapon to go out into the woods to go find yourself some food to feed your family. You know what I mean? To slap a big shoulder on, a big friggin' deer shank right on the friggin' table to feed your family. Let's say you're not that fortunate, right? So what we looked into is trapping. So my husband looked into trapping, and the company that he went through, I wrote all this stuff down because I have no clue about any of this stuff, is Minnesota Trap Line. You can find them online, and he bought 4 traps. They're 2 different sizes, 2 of each trap, okay? And they also gave him 2 free samples of scent, to capture your prey, to lure your prey in lures, what they're really called scent lures. Anyways, I'm going to start with the small trap. Now, these are great for people that don't believe in guns, or they don't have any guns or anything like that, but they still need to find food to feed the family. A trap is great because all you have to do is set it and forget it. You go back the next day. If there's nothing there, you come back another day, make sure your trap is still set, make sure you still got the bait on there, and that's it, man. First you want to scope out an area is what you want to do first. Scope out an area, find a place where you see, you're going to have to scope out an area. You're going to have to go crawl in the woods somewhere, or go in a little spot and just sit there for a while and see what kind of animals come by, what kind of animals you can anticipate on getting in that specific area. If nothing comes by there, go move to a different spot. Look for game trails, things like that, you know what I mean? Wherever you know that there's going to be an animal, or where you've seen animal before, or where you scoped them out and you know they're going to be there, that's where you're going to lay your traps, okay? For us, we know we got tons of beavers back there. We know we got beavers coming through our property, so we got a trap that would catch a beaver. But this trap right here is the Douglas Bridger, so number 3. It's a 2-coil trap. And again, we got it from Minnesota Trap Line. It was purchased online. And this is a 2-coil trap. See these coils right here? That's why it says 2-coil. 1, 2. Okay, 2-coil trap. Okay, and the spread of this, spread meaning when the jaws are open, they get to be, when it's fully open, it's almost 6 inches wide. Okay, and the plate right here, this bait plate, is 2 1/8 inch by 4 3/8 inch. So 2 inches by 4 inches, okay? And this runs about $16, $15.95, not including tax or shipping fees. And this weighs about 2.35 pounds, and it will catch a coyote or a bobcat, okay? This can trap a coyote or a bobcat. You see that? I wish I could open this for you, but I can't. You need a specific tool to open these because these are like really strong, like powerful. When we first got these, we actually opened them and stuck a piece 2x4 inside of them to see what they would do, and yeah, I mean they're pretty freaking strong. So that's this one. Again, this is the Douglas Bridger number 3. This is a trap that's for coyote and bobcat. It's about $16, and you can find out in Minnesota Trap Line. Okay, we got that one, and then we got 2 of those, and then this one here is the bigger one. This one is what we're going to use to catch our beaver. This is called the Bridger number 5. Okay, this is the long spring trap. And this jaw mouth thing opens up to be 7.5 inches when it's fully expanded. Okay, so that's pretty wide. That's a pretty big animal too. And this trap right here, the pan dimension is 3x3. This is a 3x3 pan, bait pan. Okay, and this will trap animals as a beaver, otter, coyote, wolf, and even a cougar. So if you live in an area like where the mountains are, like in Washington State or Montana or anything like that, and you get cougars in your area, right here, buddy, this is what you're going to want to need right there. Trap yourself a cougar. And I wouldn't, most people probably wouldn't eat a cougar, but it's good to trap a cougar if that cougar's sitting there freaking eating up all your livestock, you know what I mean? So this is the Bridger number 5, okay? It's the long spring trap, all right? And it's about $27, and that's not including taxes or anything. And all the traps come with the attached spiking mechanism, which is a chain in this area right here that gets spiked into the ground. It gets set. It's you just set it and forget it. You cover it with some trees or whatever, and that's it. You come back in a couple of days, check your traps, see if you got some food to feed your family, and that's it. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please look into the traps. I mean, it's a great idea. My husband's the one that actually thought about it, like I said. I mean, we already have, weapons. Like, we have a rifle and stuff like that we can go out there and catch ourselves a deer, moose, bear, whatever. But this is for, like, when you don't want to be obvious about it, you know what I mean? When you set off your location, or what if you can't carry or lug a big friggin' rifle through the brush like that, At least you can set a trap up and, that's it. You set the trap and you get yourself some food. There's other ways that you can trap, too. There's other methods of trapping. I don't know any of them. This is something that I should learn, and I will eventually, but I learned everything, as far as this manly stuff from my husband. I'm more of like, the gardener, the one that, grows the food and takes care of the property and stuff like that, that's what I do. He's more the manly stuff, I'm more the womanly stuff, and don't get me wrong, I can still be a brute too, but, I take, my refuge is in that. So, that's that, and like I said, if you haven't already, maybe you're a family that doesn't believe in weapons, well, this is a good way for you to, secure yourselves with some food if you need to, go out there and find food. If it comes to a point where you ran out of food in the house, you need to go hunt for food, and that's a good way to think about, even get a couple, just get like one or two, you know what I mean? If you don't want any big game like beaver or coyote or something like that, I mean, I would never eat a coyote. I mean, but if I was starving and our family hasn't eaten in like months, I mean, of course you're gonna sit there and eat any kind of meat you can get, right? Anyways, that's that. So that was my video today, folks. Just giving you some 411 on what kind of foods you should be stockpiling, what kind of traps you should be getting, or even look into traps, what type of things that you should, look into getting. We are even stockpiling on oil, for our machines that we run around the house, like our generators and our lawnmowers and our welders and our snow blowers and things like that. We're also stockpiling, while you can get it cheap, gasoline. Stockpile on gasoline. It might be worth going out there buying a couple of 5-gallon jugs and to fill them up with some cheap gas and having that stored. Put some storage additive to the gasoline so you can so you get long shelf life out of the gas. Honestly, if I could find them cheap enough, I would probably go out there and buy those metal gas cans, because it keeps the gas, you get longer life out of the gas with the metal ones. Anyways, some other stuff that we did get too. You might want to think about getting into some welding stuff. You know what I mean? So you can do repairs, like metal repairs, or just make things that you might need on your homestead. We do a lot of metal works here. We have a couple of welders, and we like to repair things, make things. We like to reuse things around what we have here on the homestead and make use of everything that we have. But I already said that to you guys before, so I don't need to say it again. But what I really want to tell you guys is that, things are getting serious out there. Shit's hitting the fan. And for those of you that have absolutely no clue and you stumbled upon my video, hopefully you watched it long enough to hear me say this. But please, do a little bit of research. Go to, just find some news sites that you can get some real news at, like zerohedge.com. Go there and read the articles there. Go to Judge Report. Go to friggin' some YouTube people that I watch. Jeremiah Babe, I watch him. I watch Gregory Marino. I watch all these people. And Jeff Berwick, he's awesome too. He's fucking a character and a half, I'll tell you that right now. But all these people, some you guys might seem like, yeah, they're a little nutty in their own way, but you know, they know what they're talking about. These people know what they're talking about. So anyways, that's the only way you're gonna get what's really going on out there, and what you have to look at. You know, the things that you have to plan ahead for, because if you're not ready, it's gonna hit you like a brick wall, and you're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna be in shock. You're not gonna know what to do. So try and educate yourselves while you can, while you got electricity running, while you got an internet. Try and get some education into your brains. You know, try and educate yourself on what's going on, what you need to start preparing for. That's what we're doing here on the homestead. We're preparing, we're stockpiling. We don't hoard. We've been stockpiling for years and years and years, and we still do it to this day. And we're even, you know, looking into doing some other things that we've never done, like the trapping and you know, stuff like that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like it, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click that little notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload something new. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said, to show you, give you a tour of the chicken coop and show you the compost before I use it, if it's not snowing. If it's snowing, then I'm not going to do any of that. I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday or whenever the snow's not around. Anyways, salutations. I'm peacing out. Be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. And if you have to go, don't go out. But if you absolutely have to go out, be sure you go out prepared. Wearing your face shield, your mask, goggles, not face shield, your goggles, mask, and gloves. And I forgot to mention as well, people are now required to wear masks, at least here in Maine, before entering the store, and all employees have to wear masks as well. The employees also have to wear gloves. So that's a plus. At least people won't be snotting all over, you know, products, and you don't have to worry about, you know, sneezing all over everything and coughing and putting their mucus and stuff. It's just going to stay inside their face and infect themselves, right? Whatever. It's going to be more clean, right? Anyways, peace out, folks. I hope you had a nice time. I hope I educated you in some kind of way. By the way, I am not no expert in any means with any of this stuff. This is just stuff that I've learned over the years, that I've come to believe in, that I've come to do routinely. So I'm just giving some information that I've learned to you. And you probably, if you're watching me and you're looking for videos like this, you probably already know some of this stuff. Or you could be someone new that doesn't know this stuff. So I hope I taught somebody something, or you at least enjoyed the video. I mean, I know I can have some kind of humor sometimes. Anyways, peace out, stay safe, and love one another. Peace.